What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Gimbal Time with Xander. Welcome, guys. This is how to work your Weebill S Gimbal. I'm going to take you through all of the steps. No trouble, no worries. All your questions answered right here, right now. Okay, so beginning, you got your gimbal straight out of the box, you know, from wherever you got a B&H, who cares, whatever. So a couple of disclaimers before we start. Do not turn on your gimbal without a camera on it. It could break it, literally, I am not joking. Okay, another disclaimer. Okay, so another disclaimer is there is a weight limit to these things. This is kind of small. There are other larger ones for like cinema people, like movies and stuff like that, that can handle bigger cameras. But for this type of gimbal, typically a normal DSLR like this should be fine. It's gonna be okay. But make sure to check your manuals, check the weight limits both on the upper end and the lower end. Because if there's too little weight, it could also be like a breakage or whatever. Okay, so first of all, we are gonna start how to set up your gimbal part 1. So first of all, we attach the tripod plate to the gimbal itself. This is important for balancing. So it can be like balanced on a table, find somewhere it's flat, a surface, anywhere that works, and you should be good. The great thing about a Weebill S is that the axes lock. So you can only work on one axis at a time, like this, like so. So if you want to work on this one, you can only work on this one. Other gimbals that are cheaper, you know, not as nice, they don't do that. So first thing first, we are going to attach the camera to the tripod plate. When we do that is like there's a little screw right here. We take that, we put it in, make sure it's like inside, because all the way so we can move it around. And then we're going to attach that to the camera itself, like so. This is where it's nice to have some type of knife or something, you know, something that can help you screw things in. I like to keep my handy multi-tool with me at all times. So, you know, I don't have to like find a key or find like a coin or whatever. I can always have this and it's always by my side and it's just super helpful, you know? Like that, I can just screw it in. Can you see? Just like that. Make sure this is straight. This thing right here is to support the lens because there are some bigger lenses that, you know, might need a little extra support. So we just tighten that right there and we're good to go. So first step, we make sure this is all loose right here and then we attach the camera through here. Right here like this, like that. Make sure you hear a clicking noise. And then right here, this is where we lock it. Okay, this is the locking mechanism. But first we need to balance it, of course. So we unlock this axis right here. And then we make sure, once we find a good space where it is balanced, like that, we tighten it. Make sure it's super tight, or else if it comes loose while it's gonna break your gimbal. These things are very delicate. So once we're balanced like this, we gotta go like this. And this screw right here, we untighten that, and then we push this up wherever there is balance. So somewhere, like right around there is a good place to start. And then we tighten that again. And then we, obviously, since we just moved it, it's gonna be unbalanced on the other side. So we untighten this again, and then we find the balance again. So something like this, somewhere over here, something like that. Then we just try that again. Then, you know, just fine movements. Gimbals are all about small, tiny movements just to make sure like you're perfectly balanced, as all things should be. There you go. So in theory, you should place it wherever you have to and it should stay still. That's how you know it's balanced. Okay, moving on to the next axis. This one. That is not balanced at all. That is bad. So similar to this locking mechanism, there is also one on the back side. That's where we lock the left and right. So we just find the point where it's balanced, something like that, and we tighten that again. Make sure it's super duper tight. And then again, we can check to make sure. You see how it's moving like that? That should not be happening. So we can just go back, make sure, lock this one again, see if this is working. Oh no, you see that? That's not working either. That's not good. Something's going on. So we just fine tune it again. The first time you try this, don't worry if it takes you 20, 30 minutes. That's how I started. It took me a very long time to learn this. But once you do, you can do so many things. Is that we're good? You see, putting it anywhere I want, and it should stay still. It should. Not always, but we're good. We're not worried. Okay. Now, the third axis. It is a little bit tricky because you do have to hold it. So we can lock everything. So this is the third axis. This is where you unlock it. And then you have to unlock the second one too. And the way you do it, you hold it like this. And if it moves, that means it's out of balance. So we unscrew this one right here. We move it slightly this way, slightly forward, see if that works. Tighten it again. And that's pretty much perfect right there. Yeah? Don't you agree? Yes, you agree. Okay, so like I said before, in theory, anywhere I move it, it should be stable. Clearly it is not in some places, but like right there, that's not bueno. So we are going to try and balance this again. Just make it perfect. Making it perfect makes your equipment last longer. If you overstrain the motors, you're gonna have to buy a new gimbal, you're gonna spend more money. Nobody wants to do that. So just try to balance this again. Make it perfect. Something like that. And that's near perfect. You should be good. So in theory right now, you could just turn it on, which I'm about to do. And this is the power button right here. And you should see it come to life like that. And now the advantages of having a gimbal, make sure all of your axes are unlocked because otherwise it won't work and you could damage it again like always. So gimbals, what are their purpose? They are great for a lot of things. Right now, it's just in the normal mode where it's just like you turn, it turns with it. You know, the camera moves whatever direction you want to go. So if you want to like follow somebody tracking, you can just turn it like that and it'll follow the person. Or if you wanted to lock it like this, and no matter what direction you go, it'll stay locked on whatever you're focused on. Okay. Another great thing about the Weebill S specifically is this POV mode. So what that means is that like if you need to tilt up, it'll tilt up. If you need to tilt down, it tilts down. To the side, any way you want to go. Other purposes for gimbals. This is great because this can come off once you balance it and it can attach right here. And now this gimbal can replace pretty much any shot you need. So if you need something like a jib, you got a jib. If you need a slider, you got a slider. If you just need to follow somebody, you can follow somebody. Don't be creepy though. Pretty much anything you need is in this gimbal. You don't need anything else, except maybe a tripod. That's always useful. You can replace your sliders, you can replace any type of shot pretty much with a gimbal. Thanks guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been Gimbal Time with Xander. You're welcome. Bye bye.